die aktuelle 64 der Welt. Er hatte vor 2-3 Jahren seine Topzeit, als er einige Finals auf der Pro Tour erreichte, als er bei den UK Open plötzlich im Halbfinale auftauchte. Die Rede ist von Goldfinger Andrew Gilding. Andrew Gilding tritt an gegen den erfolgreichsten Dartspieler aus dem deutschsprachigen Raum in der Geschichte. Längst ist er die Nummer 6 der Welt. Er hat im letzten Jahr seinen ersten Major-Sieg eingefahren, hat die Champions League of Darts gewonnen. Zuletzt stand er im Finale des traditionsreichen World Matchplay. Ladies and Gentlemen, aus Wien, the gentle Mensur Suljovic!
Well, we are enjoying tungsten treats here at the German Darts Championship in Hildesheim, 2018 edition. It all started this afternoon when Dave Chisnell broke the record for the highest average on the European Tour in a 6-0 win against Mark Webster. And we've seen some fantastic stuff since, including that last match where Rob Cross survived a couple of match starts in a 6-5 win against Kyle Anderson, with 108 average of his own. Follow that, boys. Mensur Suljovic, a man who's already won on the Euro Tour this year in Copenhagen. A win on the World Series as well. Up against Andrew Gilding, who's looking to make the final day on the European Tour for the first time in almost 2.5 years. I'm Chris Murphy. Rob Malarkey joins me.
Yeah, Mensur Suljovic hoping to avoid the fate that has befallen the likes of Gerwyn Price and Stephen Bunting, Steve Beaton, Simon Whitlock, Johnny Clayton and James Wade as seeded casualties here on day 2 in Hildesheim. He's certainly a strong favourite to advance at the expense of Andrew Gilding.
As I said, plenty of stunning stuff so far and the potential for it to continue. You know what Suljovic can produce? We've got Adrian Lewis, the mercurial talent. That is jackpot coming up, and then the world #1 Michael van Gerwen. And don't write off White, who's produced some stunning stuff on the European Tour himself, often against Michael van Gerwen. But tonight it's Terry Jenkins in the closing encounter this evening.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First leg is Mensur to throw first. Game on.
That's for later though. This is for now. The gentle Mensur Suljovic getting this one underway.
Mensur Suljovic fast becoming a man who almost
95.
epitomises the European Tour. He is given a huge ovation wherever he goes. A big welcome from this crowd in Hildesheim as well. They acknowledge what he's done of late, and he could argue it was the European Tour where it all really began to click into gear for Mensur Suljovic, where he started doing the good stuff, making that transition from the floor events and using this bigger stage experience to make that transition. He's now part of the elite. There is no doubt about that. No doubt about that whatsoever. Premier League, Champions League winner last year, European Tour champion.
World Match Play finalist, of course, in the last tournament he played. And ran Gary Anderson very close in that final.
And what a final it was as well, falling agonisingly short in that 21-19 defeat. And, well, his displays throughout the week at the Winter Gardens just underlined why he is regarded as such an established figure in the darting elite right now. That average, by the way, in the final, 104.43, his first ton-plus average at the World Match Play. 14 180s in the final as well, the most he's ever pulled off in a single match.
99.
Or single professional match, I should say. And he certainly played his part in the longest final in the tournament's history. Sorry.
Stunning stuff from Mensur Suljovic. He is the world number 6, as you said, right up there at the top of the sport. And who would have thought that a few years ago? This tricky character, wasn't he? This guy who everyone got annoyed with.
Well, he was perceived as being slow and being boring. And, you know, he had this image, and he's just won so many
59.
people over.
Mensur, your car 121.
He's great to win, I think.
He really is a character, charming character as well as a world-class darts player.
And the backstory that goes with it, of course, is
87.
further testament to his character too. Gilding adrift on 220 in this opening leg. Suljovic waiting in the wings on 34.
60.
Well, he might decide to knock 6 off it.
I was just thinking that.
And go for his favourite double.
He's looking over there, isn't he? Yep.
Game shot of the first leg.
Number 14, the insurance policy.
Yeah, use the guide there to great effect. Clattered off the barrel into the bed.
Really good response by Suljovic as well, after suffering elimination on his Premier League debut earlier this year. He's bounced back emphatically since then, securing the European Tour titles
134
in Denmark, of course.
Yeah, that elimination was almost a false elimination, wasn't it? Because his performances were up there with anyone in the Premier League. It was a bit of bad luck, really, that he ended up in the bottom 2.
And not only that as well, of course, he won the German Darts Masters on the World Series stage in May in Gelsenkirchen before winning that second European Tour title in Denmark, the inaugural tournament in Denmark.
Shade under now.
60.
£1 million in career prize money. Could get there this weekend. As for Gilding, well, he seemed to come out of a clear blue sky, Andrew Gilding, although he has been around some time and had this incredible run to the UK Open semi-finals. Suljovic filled it up, having had some deep runs on the floor tournaments before that. But the slides, the trend has been reversed, hasn't it? And he seemed to be on the slide for the last year and a half. And needs to book that trend to have his professional tour card.
27.
Now then, Suljovic doesn't have to take this out now. Looks like he intended to.
59.
Yeah, I think the intention was there. £998,036. Is that what you've got for Suljovic's earnings? So 2,000 to come as well.
Same ballpark, yeah.
And 400 grand of that was last year alone.
Yeah, £100,000 for the Champions League. Not a bad weekend's work, was it? 55,000 trousered at the match play. No drama at the start of this one. Mensur Suljovic, he was his usual sort of jovial self at the World Match Play. Every interview he made complaints about being in Blackpool. I like darts, I just don't like the place, I don't like the hotel.
Well, he's got another seaside resort to look forward to later this month as well, when he goes to Brighton for the Champions League, the defence of the Champions League. It's switched from Cardiff this year.
Thumbs up from Gilding. He enjoyed that one.
40.
Might prove to be a very timely assault there as well from Andrew Gilding.
Gilding came through his first round match yesterday against Max Hopp. 6
134.
legs to 2, an average of just under 92, 50% on his doubles. Good start to his first European Tour event of 2018. Only played in 2 of these Euro Tour events last year. Didn't win a single match.
140.
First round defeats in Sindelfingen and in the German Darts Masters.
That was a tournament in which he reached the final day back in 2015. When he got there, he was whitewashed by John Henderson, who you may remember embarked on a run right to the final.
140.
Well, Gilding down to 47 here on the Suljovic throw as well. Suljovic not on a finish yet, but looking to apply a little bit of pressure if he can.
100.
Yep, this will get the match back on throw.
I love the way Gilding approaches the hockey. It's just such a measured, almost like a metronomic motion. He just
It's
goes
unorthodox.
through that same routine, yeah.
And it seems strange.
42.
That's a bit strange.
That's a bit unorthodox
Mensur
as well, yeah.
require 81.
Suljovic's eyes might light up here. He wants double 18. Take a 3-0 lead.
And the thing with Suljovic as well, if he comes inside on double 18, he likes that northwest corner of the board anyway as a backup. I mean, I think he's very versatile on doubles. He's got this reputation for double 14, but he's not a one-trick pony by any stretch. I've seen him win matches without hitting double 14 at all. But it is something that has stuck with him.
Yeah, I was going to say about Gilding's pre-shot routine, it is kind of a bizarre quirk of his game. Looks a bit odd, but perhaps there is something to be said for the fact that at least it's repetition. But it's always the same.
140.
Always face down, isn't it, as he makes that stride across.
He doesn't look at the board until he's about to throw. Here's an example of when it works.
180.
As it hit there.
Always followed by the thumb as well.
Robert Thornton just having a glance over our shoulders as he made his way past the commentary area. Still reflecting on his win over James Wade a short while ago.
Very good win. Robert Thornton, before this tournament, was proclaiming that he's going to do something special, or don't be surprised if I do.
41.
We had a little chat beforehand as well about the previous meetings between these two. Gilding actually has the better record in the head-to-head. There is one encounter that I'd overlooked from some time ago, but ignoring that, Chris may dwell on that a bit more in due course. But Gilding has won 2 of their 3 meetings. They were all in 2015, but the significant one was a 10-8 win over Suljovic en route to the last 4 of the UK Open, when he averaged just under 100.
I think the other one that Suljovic won was at a fun event. One of these Opens that some of the players sometimes travel to in their rare time off. Mensur demo.
Well, I said I've seen matches where Suljovic hasn't hit double 14 and gone on to win. It served him well so far here. Took it out in the opener. Took it out there as well for a 4-0 lead. So far, so good for Mensur.
When we flicked through the running order, we might have thought that this would be the longest match of the night. It could turn out to be the fastest.
Yeah, I mean, Suljovic was a strong favourite, but I'll take your point on that.
Another player over the ton mark on the averages. Still some way to go to catch up Rob Cross, and then plenty more to catch up Dave Chisnall. It was a brilliant display. Going the right way about it.
Yeah, Michael Rastovitz watching on as well. He too will be involved for the first time on the final day of a European Tour event. He beat Simon Whitlock in the last match of the afternoon session, fellow Austrian. So could have 2 Austrian players in the last 16, which is, I assume, no, it's not first, is it? Because I think Rodriguez did it one year when, or one weekend when Suljovic was involved.
Now watch out for Michael van Gerwen later tonight. He's in his bonnet about that
59.
record being broken. Bit of extra motivation. That's a man who was here, we mentioned yesterday, here practicing. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Michael van Gerwen in on a day off to practice.
Mensur, you require 167.
Apart from the ones in Holland, this is quite a local fixture for Michael van Gerwen as well. We are relatively much closer to the Dutch border than some of the other venues in Germany on the European Tour.
Yeah, well, he's not bothering to make the trip over to Barnsley for the midweek Pro Tours.
And he's not making the trip over to Riesa in eastern Germany as well, either for the next European Tour event in Germany, I should say.
Suljovic looking likely to extend his stay here in Hildesheim.
58.
See, they're 4-0 up. That's one bad visit with Gilding not even halfway down.
Arms outstretched.
Yeah.
Looking for the heavens,
isn't it?
Yeah.
140. Mensur 52.
Double 16 then this time. Right on the wire.
36. Andrew, you require 124.
Well, this would be a nice way to get a leg on the board at least.
He's only been allowed 2 darts at double so far. He's got another here. It's at the bull. Oh, he's in the bull.
Andrew Gilding.
Right him off at your peril. Andrew Gilding back in business. Has a leg on the board with a 1-2-4 checkout on the bullseye. Never in doubt.
Well, it sparked him into life, Rob.
135. $135.
135, matched by Mensur.
$139.
The comical leg at the World Match Play, wasn't it? Adrian Lewis matched every single score of Jeffrey Desvant.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching that.
Lewis up next against Mervyn King.
Well, it's all well and good Gilding producing the break. He needs to back it up by holding throw here.
Just an 124 on the bull.
50.
We'll give Paul Hinks the chance to call 127 in game.
Sure, it's in the back of his mind. Treble 19. We'll never know.
87.
We'll never know what Hinks' plans were. Was it always going to be the master plan?
So in the Chisnell match earlier on, he was admiring Dave's performance that much that he forgot to bring an end to proceedings. Actually, it was the dart was so far in the corner of the double 18 that couldn't quite tell.
Yeah, just have to make absolutely sure. And it was a significant dart as well, because it had a big impact on the average in the end. Gilding 4-2, having trailed 4-0.
Well, we were joking earlier that when Mensur Suljovic had that score of 58, closing in on a 5-0 lead and got pretty mad with himself, that it was
60.
a bit silly for him to do that in that position, but actually he might have known it was a really significant moment in the match, unbeknown to us.
That illustrates how professional he is. I mean, he's not the only one who does that, but you know, players
96.
demand a lot of themselves, and they know that things can quickly turn, and if you don't take the most of, or make the most of your opportunities, some players will seize. You can't afford to be too charitable.
The average has dropped by some 10 or more points. And a couple of legs that Suljovic has lost. It's getting better and better and better, and then all of a sudden it's just seized up.
59.
He sets himself very high standards, does Mensur Suljovic, and that's one of the reasons why he has been so successful. It's one of the reasons why he is where he is in the world rankings. Number 6 in the order of merit, number 5 in the Pro Tour order of merit right now. Seeded 6 here this weekend.
He's one of the players that is picking and choosing, trying to play it packed calendar, and the players that are in those top positions have the luxury of being able to do that, because if you're going to have deep runs in the big tournaments, you're going to back up that ranking anyway without having to travel to every single event.
75.
Yeah, it's good. Well, it's all about schedule management as well, and like you say, some players are able or have the opportunity to manage things a little bit better than others. They have that.
Look at Anderson, who skips a European tour but plays the UK events, whereas the likes of MVG and Suljovic kind of do it the other way around.
89. Mensur car 145.
And given the way the calendar is just becoming increasingly squeezed, it's I think it's going to be a key feature.
145 for Suljovic to re-spark, and you know what that means, what it leaves?
117.
Well, I thought that was going to be a 70 from Suljovic. He'll come back for the same target and to stop the mini rocks.
59. Mensur car 28.
So I think this would be for the 3rd time team for Mensur Suljovic. He's not found it with the first dart.
Game shot on the 7th.
But he has with the second, and Suljovic, I think, grateful that he's managed to get the gap up to 3 now. He has that cushion. Just stopping that mini Ross, as he said. And the danger seems to have been averted for now, although Gilding... Make no mistake about that.
Gilding not giving in, and nor should he.
Well, it is effectively still just one break of throw. Hold here for 5-3, break for 5-4, hold for 5-all. Suljovic would throw first in any decider that comes along. Gilding wouldn't mind about that. I think he would snap your hand off if you offered him a 11 plate now.
Has only managed to reach the last 16 on a couple of occasions in any tournament in 2018. One of them was his most recent, though, Players' Championship 16 at the end of June.
$140.
If he was to overturn this deficit somehow, he'd get the chance to take on his old roommate Darren Webster.
Yeah.
$140. Andrew, you require 85.
Options for Gilding.
Well, it should be towards the 20 section, because single would give him a dart at the ball, which he'd already hit in the match. Can't hit the double 5, and it could be for Goldfinger in the GDC.
Well, he almost took out the 145. Can he take out the 121? Mensur Suljovic is closing in. 50 away.
96.
25 away.
Wasn't far away either. Double 2. Oh, this is going to be difficult.
Yeah, it's pitched very awkwardly.
One scored.
And that could well be that. Mensur Suljovic with 2 darts at a double, and it's double 8 for a place in the last 16 here in Hildesheim. He's moving over to double 4, and Mensur Suljovic once again fairly comfortable in advancing to the last 16 in the European Tour. Once again, it's something he has mastered over the last 2 years or so, and once again he will be involved in the business end of proceedings. It could be another European Tour title for Mensur Suljovic. Bigger, tougher assignments to come, you feel, starting with Darren Webster tomorrow, but for now Suljovic is through, and Andrew Gilding bows out, losing 6-2.
Mensur Suljovic setzt sich durch gegen Goldfinger Andrew Gilding und das souverän mit 6:2. Damit steht er also im Achtelfinale und morgen heißt der Gegner Darren Webster. Mensur, gratuliere.
Dankeschön.
Guter Start in das Turnier, zufrieden?
Ja, auf jeden Fall zufrieden. Ich habe 4 Wochen wirklich erstes Mal in meinem Leben nicht trainiert, aber ich habe mich letzte Woche zusammengerissen, ich habe ein bisschen trainiert. Ich habe zu meinem Management gesagt, ich hoffe, ich gewinne die erste Runde, wenn nicht, ist auch in Ordnung.
Okay. Dieses Jahr 2018 ist irgendwie das nächste richtig gute Jahr. Noch einmal kurz Blick zurück, World Matchplay, bei so einem traditionsreichen großen Turnier im Finale gestanden. Wie war das für dich auch jetzt mal so ein bisschen mal setzen lassen? Was für ein Erlebnis war das?
Ja, riesengroßer Erfolg für mich und ich hoffe, du bleibst ein Leben lang bei mir, dann haben wir beide Erfolg. Das weißt du selber, nur zusammen passt alles. Aber wirklich, das ist ein riesengroßer Erfolg. Wir haben gezeigt, wie man Dart spielen. Entschuldigung, dass ich so sage, aber wirklich riesengroßer Erfolg für mich, für österreichische Dartsport, für deutsche Dartsport und das so weiter soll gehen, wirklich.
Darren Webster, der ist gefährlich, auf den musst du aufpassen.
Demolition Man. Nein, das ist ein super Kerl, wirklich. Ich wünsche ihm alles Bestens, aber ich hoffe, ich kann es morgen gewinnen, wenn nicht, ist auch in Ordnung. Aber ich hoffe, ich gewinne es und mein Freund gewinnt das. Michael Rastowitz, da spielen wir gegeneinander. Das haben wir uns gewünscht.
Ja, ganz genau, 2 Österreicher im Achtelfinale. Mensur Suljovic, er also morgen gegen Darren Webster.